This is day 752 of Arukh HaShulkhan Yomi. I just sponsor upcoming shir of Arukh HaShulkhan Yomi or more. Please come me directly. We very greatly appreciate it. Today we're doing some in Tov Samach Gimel, Sif Aleph, to Tov Samach Hey, Sif Hey. Tov Samach Gimel. Imutar Akol Shnei Shibolim Yachad. Are you allowed to burn, to singe, I guess the right word, two kernels together, two stalks together. The Din Carmel, the halacha of roasting. Okay? We're going to explain what these things are. You're allowed to singe two stalks together. You're allowed to fill a pot full of stalks, the absham, the tanur, to dry them in an oven. We're not concerned that through the heat, water will come out of one of the stalks, and fall on the other one. Because any seepage which comes from the stalks as they are being baked is only meperos. It doesn't become chametz. Even according to our minhag, which we don't use fruit juice in order to make dough, I saw a previous simon. Here we're not concerned with this. It's not so prevalent that the stalks are going to release this kind of liquid, which would be a problem. But the thing is, we really have no idea what this is. We don't have this kind of singeing stalks by us altogether. Perhaps this was in Eretz Yisrael. That the wheat was very fatty. Just like we don't toast our grain, because our grain, our wheat is very not dry. The opposite of fatty is lean. They're not suitable for this process. The Shabura says that it's a milsulo shchicha, that water will come out from one stalk to another stalk, and even comes out. It's made peros. Also, it's possible with that, but Shemach made peros is not to do a ma'aseh yadayim, to in other words, not to actively mix together fruit juice with flour. But if it come mixed up on its own, it's okay. We're not machmir. The Sharatzion says that nafkina would be in terms of to be mizmanazeh, allowing to make kloyos, this toasted grain. Because the second reason we permit it, because we allow things which happen automatically. But according to the first reason, it would be osir. I guess because he was going to the first reason that this made peros was also no matter what. And he doesn't go with this idea of that it's not shchiach. Okay, he doesn't make base. If you have the stalks or grain, the wheat, which were toasted in an oven or in a fire, if you ground them up, don't cook them with water, because maybe they weren't toasted properly, and they'll come fermented. Even the flour itself was toasted in the oven, not good enough. Not good, it might have been not toasted sufficiently. So the water is going to come chametz. Those who allow you to cook toasted flour, because the heat of the fire has more of an impact on flour than it would on the kernels of grain. But the you can rely on this. Shmuel also agrees that if you made a cooked dish out of this toasted flour, it's mutter but he says it's mutter ba'no, or to leave it after Pesach, not actually to eat it. Okay, but the Arukh HaShulkhan says in any event, we don't have this really at all by us. Although it's possible that we have cereals like that. Puffed wheat might be like that. No, but that's where it's a whole kernel. No, never mind. Tur says matzah with chuna. If you have matzah meal, which is matzah which is baked and then ground up, mutter, it's not a problem. We're not concerned. Might come because he used flour, because we allow you to use matzah meal. Parifa Adoni Avi Rosh Kosu Stamal Atera Matzah Fuya. The Rif and Rosh write generically that matzah which is baked is okay. But Gemara come out feel by matzah fuya. Asur hechadika avdi shemzalzim b'mitzvos or chetzim. Or imagine it's only also if there are avodim slaves who are lenient in mitzvos or makri mitzvos, etc. Those places we can be afraid that the permit also flour at Kodesh. Custom and portion said the Gemara, Lokash, the Gemara is not difficult. Sheesh, O Lashim, Gemara Shemutar, that there's no language in the Gemara that says it's permitted outright. Ayin Sham. Anitama al Tuvam Farshim astounded. The Gemara Leka Maklau mi Matzav Fuya. In our Gemara, don't say anything about the baked matzah being a problem. So the Gemara says, I'm something that meant. I probably started the Beirish Gusulamim Keder Bachasise. Or probably allowed the house of Reish Galusa to pour into to crush into a pot chasise, which is this toasted grain. This not toasted. This the crushed the matzah meal. Omar Ava Rabba said, is this permitted in a place where there are lots of avodim? Some say Rava himself put the this matzah meal in the pot. Now, that's assumed translation. It's matzah meal, which is perhaps what the Torah assumed. But Pirish Rashi chasise kim chadiv shuna. It's not matzah meal made from baked matzah. It's toasted. Okay, there's a toasted flour. So this is flour which is made from toasted grain. There's nothing to do with baked matzah. That it's a lentil flour. That is a problem because it's made of toasted lentils. Because we're not to close shachitim, we're afraid to use it unless you come to use toasted flour, toasted grain. What does that have to do with matzah meal, which is made of baked matzah with tzorchi and gadol? Not clear. Vatika, v'tavsha osimi shemen u'melchin kemach. Which is a cooked dish made out of oil and salt and flour. Mutar asusa with Pesach. You have to make a Pesach means that there is my kosher. There's no mixture of water present at all. Vafilu melach shel mayim, even if the salt which comes from water, which you said in the previous simon is a problem. Since it's a small amount, and no longer looks like water. Aim bokach neder shemen. It cannot be considered to be water sufficiently to counteract the oil. But we should be concerned less with the made and like the previous simon forbid it like the halacha of when you have fruit juice with water. We also don't do this with tika stuff. We roll together in new pots water and flour and water and vinegar in order to toughen the pots. I don't know about this process. I'm saying here do alone. Most of these people don't do by us. Tough samach dalit. Mustard in which flour has been mixed in. Aleph zenepet. It's sharp and very strong. Might be in bobas and used in order to dunk meat. It's condiment. Yesh b'chometz has vinegar or shamini cure or other types of acid. Nosi bogamad put in a little water as well. Tekla says bogamad. Some people put a little flour in it. Also, so can pass now. They'll do it on Pesach. Even though the vinegar, which comes from wine on Pesach or apple cider, it also comes out of the mustard. It's all made payros, it's all fruit juice. Since it's also water, they're having made payros. It's fruit juice and water. Boston has ridiculous base, as we saw in the previous simon. Now, sign if you put it in, you'll let him be honest. Speak like means. You put flour in, you should eat immediately before it comes chametz k'moshe pasak shem b'sham belisha, like we said over there when you needed it. The yofem yad you should make it immediately. B'hachanani yachlenemad you should eat it immediately. Based on the when sushi mutal chom yad you're allowed to eat immediately. But chad shuchad v'chazak with mustard, which is sharp and strong. V'lo yaniach lachnitz meir and won't allow things to become chametz quickly. Meantime you can eat it. I was trying many people, but other types of dips. So chai gavna. If you put flour inside them, as soon as they're also all together. Came in machadim kol kach is not so sharp. V'echrech lishos kasachil. It's going to take some time for you to eat it. V'shema adoachi b'achiti chametz. So when you eat that, it's going to come chametz. There was no eitzah. You have to burn this other type of dip, or put it into a disgusting place. And even he thinks that this dip which he just made is as strong as mustard. Come also. So also Shein El Mashlam B'Chachamim. Now we have after Chacham said this heter, not or anything else. Gimel Zemedina, that's according to the law. Kvaris Bar Sim Tov No Gimel Shein Anu Achlim Minei Kidneos. We don't eat any types of legumes Pesach. The Chayda Gankin every min kidneos, and the mustard is also a type of kidneos. You don't eat Chayda Pesach. That's why the Ashkenazim don't eat mustard on Pesach. I've seen his bar. Shem Shai Dei Tarovas Mutter. You know, he said that in a mixture it's okay. And mustard is always a mixture with vinegar at least and some other stuff. Nevertheless, the primary component is the mustard. And you don't now eat Pesach. Even you fix it and set it for Pesach and a minute, and that's the minute. So Avraham Avinu, who fed the Malach in the 3 Lashonos and Chayda, according to she was Pesach. That was before the minute of Kitnios obviously existed. Simon Tov Samachay, dear Murson, this is the kind of animal fodder. Lita Zim Lehema Ovas and Pesach, to give it to animals and birds on Pesach. Whatever you do, it's well known. The exchange to us about small chametz in Pesach, just like you yourself and animal eat chametz in Pesach, also tend to be hemto, so they can't give you an animal. Chametz Pesach us, but no chametz Pesach us in Hanova gam over by roa by motzei. You also violate by roa by motzei if you keep it around. Nimtzai now said chametz behema chayav over Pesach. Somebody gives chametz to an animal of any sort on Pesach. Over shlosh shavani, he transgresses 3 violations. So echad aloto chal chametz kol gamana. Not the chametz which includes also deriving benefit. Vashenis by roa that the chametz should not be seen in his possession. Vashlishis are by motzei. The chametz should not be in his possession. It doesn't make a difference if he gives the fodder himself. Or by a non-Jew, whether it's in his courtyard or not in his courtyard, you violate these 3 prohibitions. If you give the when an animal stands in your domain, in your chutzner, no sale works. So let's say, but say it's past the one she'im shel chimutz. Got to give on Pesach things which are not chametz. That like potatoes, mini kidneys, or types of legumes, which you can give to an animal, the Greek or whatever that is. I think it's a very big problem with fish food, because fish food is almost always chametz. Give her some sort of the hay. Even though there might be some kernel of grain in that hay, that's not his intent. The emotion Torah should throw in mekana, which is straw. If you want to cook the stuff, since there might be kernels of grain left, then you have to cook them with a non-Jew, v'tanu echar, and not your regular oven. The shemanim tisham is grain because maybe there's some kernel there. This is the way we install the minhag in the Malzik. If you want to give them grain, then they give a dry grain, like flour, or assuming innovation or a dry bran. A place where it's not going to get moist. After they eat, you should sweep it up. So you share garin, a kernel shine main. So it shouldn't become moist. The way they wants to come to ferment. You can't soak this bran for the fowl. About a few minutes, you want to soak it immediately. Before it becomes chametz, also it's still also. The value of the chametz, leave it long enough to sugar become chametz. Question what long enough is. So therefore we ask it. Furthermore, the chatchila also on the isa bli hesek. Never allowed to leave a dough without involvement. Afrega achas even for a moment because I've seen it tough test. Used to send me a Pesach, Mishah Shishas Ma'al. It starts at Pesach from noon and beyond. Okay. Gimel. V'chalita barotchim mutar medina. To take dough and drop it into boiling hot water, and so it becomes cooked that way. It's mutar according to the letter of the law. I'm going also. They're going for Beis Duas. Mashram Simon Tav Nun Dal. No sin leaf name Tvul Yubesha. So if you put a dry dry grain in front of the animals. Don't put water there to drink. While the food is still in front of them. Because still in the middle of drinking, the animal's going to go to eat. At the end of drinking, and the water in his lips will flow on the grain. So they're going to become chametz. Rather, when they finish eating, she should first sweep up that place very well, so no kernels are left. Then give them to drink. A woman should not soak bran in her hand to bring it to the bathhouse. She can rub it dry on her flesh. They used to use this bran in the bathhouse as a therapeutic treatment. That's a cancel in Pesach. Bear Pesach, B'Shalom Shishis, and also Air Pesach after 6 hours. But to rub it dry in her skin, even though her skin is full of sweat from the heat of the bathhouse. Because sweat is not the same thing as water in terms of making chametz. On the other hand, if she washes herself in water, it's also together. Also, she rubs it onto a dry skin. So she wants to wash. First, she take off the bran. And put them in a disgusting place. And then she uses hot or cold water. Now we don't know exactly how to do this. Which don't use chametz as soap. Hey, Dr. Shavshev Avaz Lach B'Murson. Don't ask me. They used to scrub moist grease with this bran. You must compare Pesach Achar Vav Shos. On Pesach or Air Pesach afternoon, Asur Kol Avaz, you can't eat the goose. Shinbor Avaz, because in the skin of the goose, Yesh Kamina Kovin Dakim, the kind of small holes. When came to chametz and Pesach, Mashu says the chametz and Pesach also Mashu. Chashin Shem Nisham Mashu Mutzam Megoyim. Pray some of this bran mixture will stay in those holes. Came Pesach Im Yirtza L'Chla Mutzar. Air Pesach, when he it's okay. The Air Pesach bought the B'Shishim. The Pesach is bought in 60. But Yesh Lizar Shal Havev Ofos the Pesach B'Kash. You shouldn't singe birds on Pesach with using straw. Shemay Shem Garin, because maybe there is a grain there. It's going to give a taste to the bird, even when it's being used, when it's being singed. If you have a mutzah, if you have it's okay. Even you find fermented kernels in other places in this hay or straw, we're assuming there's also fermented kernels in that which you used in order to singe the goose. Okay, Arukh also says, you can allow the goose when you scrub, but when you scrub with it, but then you could very, very strenuously wash it with water. But you have to eat it still before Pesach. Some people make it even during Pesach if it's a makam of Hefsed Merubah.